A house for $4,000 in America? Sounds like something from a chain email scam, except it's 100% real, and you can find it on Zillow right now. Across the country, there are towns so forgotten, so oddly quiet, that real estate prices have plunged to bizarre levels. Entire blocks are selling for less than a month's rent in New York. Some towns are practically begging you to move in. Others, they don't even tell you why it's so cheap. Abandoned mining camps, desert outposts with UFO legends, a town sitting above a fire that never stopped burning. These aren't just cheap homes, they're glimpses into stories lost to time, places where the price is low but the questions run deep. Let's explore the weirdest, cheapest, and most misunderstood places you could call home, if you dare. In Elkhart, Kansas, the horizon doesn't end. It just disappears into a straight, empty line. This is one of those places where the sky feels bigger than the town itself, and the houses? You can buy one for around $60,000. In fact, if you came here with $100,000, you could practically be a land baron. Elkhart sits at the far southwestern tip of Kansas, rubbing shoulders with Oklahoma and just a breath away from Colorado. It's a town that looks like it was airdropped in the middle of a flat beige canvas. No mountains, no trees, no noise, just space. Locals say it's peaceful. Outsiders say it's eerie. The town has about 2,800 residents, a grocery store, a library, a single school district, and an airport with more tumbleweeds than flights. Crime is almost non-existent. Traffic? That's a punchline. You can go days without seeing a stranger. But here's where it gets weird. Some houses have been sitting empty for years, perfectly intact, eerily quiet, with lawns that haven't seen a mower in a decade. Zillow listings pop up with prices that feel like typos. $52,000 for a three-bedroom home with a yard. No HOAs, no bidding wars, just silence. A Redditor once joked, "You don't find Elkhart, it finds you when you take the wrong turn and forget how to leave." There's no tech boom, no hidden startup culture, no viral real estate trend. Just a town that's stubbornly stuck in time, and for some, that's exactly the appeal. But if you think Elkhart is strange, wait until you see the town that looks like a ghost story set in stone. There's a town in Montana where the streets are still dirt, the buildings lean with age, and the silence is so deep it hums in your ears. Welcome to Bannock, once a booming gold rush town, now a place where you can walk through history and maybe live inside it. Bannock isn't just old, it's nearly frozen in time. Founded in 1862 and once the capital of the Montana Territory, it peaked with over 3,000 residents chasing gold dreams. Today, it's a state park and semi-ghost town where the only full-time residents are deer, wind, and curiosity seekers. But here's what makes it more than just a relic. On the outskirts of Bannock, where the state park ends and private land begins, there are parcels for sale. Large open plots in the Montana wilderness priced astonishingly low. Some land listings go for under $15,000. Off-grid, untouched, unclaimed by modern life, no utilities. No Starbucks, no neighbors. Just you, the mountains, and a past that never left. A small but growing number of modern homesteaders and off-gridders are quietly moving in nearby. They build cabins with solar panels, haul their own water, and speak with a reverence for isolation. It's like being on another planet, one resident posted on a prepping forum. But the air's clean and nobody bothers you. And Bannock? It watches quietly like a forgotten guardian. At night, the wind whistles through abandoned saloons and clapboard houses. Rumors of hauntings swirl, an old sheriff hanged without trial, a schoolhouse where voices still echo. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, something about this place feels unsettled. But if Bannock's shadows give you chills, the next town might actually be stranger, because people are living there and no one agrees on why. Alpena feels like two different towns stitched together with a single gas station. One side whispers retirement dreams, porch swings, church bells, potlucks on Sundays. The other side? A strange hush, like people are there. But no one really talks. Located in northern Arkansas, Alpena has fewer than 400 residents. Yet it's split across two counties and looks like it belongs to three different decades at once. On Zillow, you'll find homes listed for around $55,000. Two bedrooms with big yards, some with metal roofs, others with vines crawling up their siding like nature's trying to take them back. It's quiet. Too quiet, some say. The people who move here often fall into two categories: retirees seeking solitude and younger individuals looking to drop off the grid, many of whom don't exactly want to be found. Some arrive in camper vans, others in beat-up sedans. They stay out of town business, and town doesn't ask questions. You can live here for 10 years and still be a stranger, one local told an online forum, but no one bothers you, that's the deal. There's a post office, a tiny cafe, and a Dollar General. The town seems untouched by the chaos of the outside world, but it also resists change like an immune system rejecting a transplant. Crime is low, but so is energy. Cell signal comes and goes. At dusk, the fields surrounding the town turn gold and everything feels beautiful and disconnected. Like stepping into a painting you're not sure you're allowed to touch. Some say Alpena is healing. Others say it's hiding, but if a town with two faces feels strange, just wait until you meet the one surrounded by silver mines and stories of things in the sky. In Tonopah, the stars are so clear, it almost feels like the sky is watching you back. This desert town halfway between Las Vegas and Reno offers something most towns can't: cosmic silence, chilling legends, and houses selling for around $80,000. That's if you don't mind sleeping near a haunted hotel or driving past what looks like an abandoned airstrip from a science fiction film. Once a booming silver mining hub in the early 1900s, Tonopah was Nevada's crown jewel until the silver ran out. Today, only about 2,000 people live here. The streets are cracked but clean, the air is dry and electric, and the past? It's never really left. The Mizpah Hotel, still operating, has rooms that guests swear are visited by ghosts. One TripAdvisor review reads, "The lady in red whispered in my ear, 'I didn't sleep, but I'm coming back.'" Whether it's marketing genius or genuine haunting, Tonopah doesn't deny it. They lean into it. Then there's the Tonopah Test Range, a nearby military site with high fences, strange lights, and a silence that stretches for miles. UFO enthusiasts flock here, hoping for a glimpse of something classified. Residents? They've learned not to ask questions. Zillow listings include aging homes with original wood paneling, vintage appliances, and yards filled with nothing but sand and sky. "It's like time got stuck," one man posted in a housing forum. But it's cheap, it's quiet, and you never have to lock your door. Yet even here, where cell service is spotty and mysteries hang in the air like dust, people are buying: artists, veterans, escapees from city life. They say they come for the peace, but some whisper it's because Tonopah has secrets, and maybe, just maybe, they want to disappear into them. But if you think Tonopah is strange, wait until you discover the next town where plots of land cost less than a pair of sneakers, and the locals aren't locals at all. Cisco isn't just off the grid, it feels off the planet. What used to be a dusty pit stop for the railroad is now something stranger: a half-dead, half-reimagined outpost in eastern Utah where you can still buy a parcel of land for under $1,000. No utilities, no town council, no rules. Cisco is what you make of it, literally. Back in the early 1900s, Cisco was a rowdy supply hub for trains and cattlemen, but when the highway bypassed it and the trains stopped coming, it shriveled into a shell of itself. For decades, it was known as nothing more than a ghost town. Broken buildings, rusting cars, sun-bleached signs warning of trespassers who probably didn't live there anymore. Then came the artists. One by one, creators, sculptors, and off-grid dreamers began claiming abandoned lots, building bizarre homes from shipping containers, salvaged wood, even school buses. No official permits, just vision and a lot of patience. Eileen Musa, an artist who famously bought and rebuilt a chunk of Cisco, once told a reporter, "There's freedom here. But it's not easy. That's the point." Now, Cisco has a reputation half myth, half movement. It's been featured in indie documentaries, fringe travel blogs, even TikTok. Still, it has no grocery store, no gas station, and no reliable power. You want to live here? Bring your own everything. And yet, something about it calls to people. Maybe it's the sense that in a world full of systems, Cisco is a blank canvas. One visitor wrote online, "You either fall in love with the silence, or it breaks you." But if you think an artist-run ghost town is the weirdest place to live, wait until you meet a town that was once the most violent in the country and where the quiet now feels suspicious. There was a time when Pioche, Nevada had more graves than houses. Back in the 1872nd, this remote mining town earned the title most violent town in the West. Legend says over 70 men were killed before the first natural death was recorded, and many of them never made it to a courtroom. Fast forward to today, and Pioche is almost too quiet. Tucked into the mountains near the Utah border, the town now has a population of about 900 and the kind of eerie calm you only find in places where the past never fully left. You can buy a home here for around $65,000. Some are rustic cabins with mountain views. Others are near abandoned miners' homes with creaky floors and shadowed hallways. The violence is long gone. What's left is a stillness that some find peaceful and others find unnerving. Walk down the main street, and you'll see old saloons converted into antique stores, a jailhouse museum no one really visits, and weathered signs that haven't changed in 40 years. There's a charm to it, sure, but there's also a weight. Locals will tell you stories about the $1 million courthouse that drained city funds before ever seeing a trial, about sudden wind gusts that come out of nowhere, and about the Boot Hill Cemetery where some of the rowdiest men in the West found their final resting place, often with bullets still in them. But no one talks about crime anymore because there isn't any, and that's what makes some visitors nervous. It's not normal, one traveler posted. There's no sirens, no kids yelling, no music. It's like the whole place is holding its breath. And yet, houses sell. People come for the price, stay for the peace, and sometimes leave just because they feel watched. But if the silence in Pioche gives you chills, the next town might just erase you completely. Because down in Texas, there's a border town where people live, but no one really notices. Presidio doesn't just sit at the edge of Texas, it feels like the edge of the map. Nestled along the US-Mexico border, this dusty, sun-bleached town of about 3,800 people moves at a pace most of America forgot. The houses are cheap, somewhere around $70,000 on average, but that's not what makes Presidio feel surreal. It's the silence, the kind that doesn't feel earned, just imposed. There are no shopping malls, no nightlife, no tourist attractions, just a handful of local businesses, a few gas stations, and miles of desert stretching out in every direction. The Rio Grande separates it from Ojinaga, Mexico, but most days, that boundary feels more like a formality than a wall. Cell signal is patchy, internet service is a rumor. People here keep to themselves not in a hostile way, but in a way that suggests they've made peace with being forgotten. One Reddit post put it bluntly: Presidio is where you go if you never want to be found again. That may sound dark, but for some, that's the dream. Artists, survivalists, and people with no interest in HOA meetings or city taxes are quietly buying property here. There's a small school, a police station, and a clinic, just enough infrastructure to exist, not enough to be seen. The sunsets are otherworldly. The nights are pitch black, and the days feel like reruns. Some claim Presidio has its own rhythm, one that only makes sense after weeks of listening. Others say it's the closest thing you'll find to legal disappearance in modern America. But if Presidio is a place to vanish, the next town on our list is a place people run from because the ground itself is burning. And yet, the real estate is somehow still for sale. Imagine buying land in a town that's been on fire for over 60 years. Welcome to Centralia, Pennsylvania, where smoke rises from cracks in the pavement, road signs are scorched or buried, and the population has dropped from over 1,000 to fewer than 5. In 1962, a coal mine fire beneath the town ignited a slow-burning disaster that no one could stop. The fire spread underground, releasing toxic gases and making entire streets unstable. The government ordered evacuations. Most homes were demolished, mail delivery stopped, and yet, Centralia is still there. What's even stranger, people are still buying land. There are parcels available for dirt cheap, literally. Some sell for under $10,000, often with a warning: uninhabitable, for speculative purposes only. But that hasn't stopped the curious, the thrill seekers, or the investors hoping for some kind of underground gold rush, figuratively or otherwise. Walking through Centralia feels like stepping into a post-apocalyptic film set. The highway leading into town, Route 61, is cracked and covered in graffiti. A stretch locals call Graffiti Highway, though much of it's now fenced off. Trees grow through sidewalks. Smoke escapes from fissures in the earth like quiet ghosts. One former resident wrote online, "It doesn't feel haunted by spirits, it's haunted by decisions. There's no functioning town government, no police force, no school. The zip code was revoked. And yet, the land remains scarred but oddly alluring. There's something magnetic about a place that refuses to disappear, even when nature itself has tried to erase it." But if Centralia's burning ground feels like a warning from the earth, the next town might offer a strange kind of comfort where isolation meets unexpected beauty, and a ghost town quietly becomes the next YouTube obsession. Caliente is the kind of town where time doesn't rush, it strolls. Hidden in the high desert of southeastern Nevada, this town of about 1,000 residents offers something unexpected: historic charm, wide open skies, and homes averaging just $85,000. But that's not what's making people stop scrolling Zillow and start packing vans. It's the train station. Built in 1923, the Caliente Railroad Depot looks like it was plucked from a Wes Anderson movie: pink stucco, Spanish-style arches, and a clock tower that refuses to be ignored. It's no longer a hub for trains, but it now houses city offices, a library, and a museum, all surrounded by a silence so soft it almost feels sacred. The town itself is simple: a few diners, a hardware store, a gas station, and endless desert. But something about Caliente has captured the imagination of road trippers and content creators alike. YouTubers looking for the next Marfa are filming here, drawn by the light, the architecture, and the eerie tranquility. Locals are friendly but protective of their peace. There's little crime, zero nightlife, and a rhythm that's unapologetically slow. The nearest Walmart? An hour away. And yet, for those seeking distance from the chaos of modern life, Caliente feels like a pocket of calm carved into sandstone. One travel vlogger described it perfectly: "It's like the world stopped trying here, and that turned out to be a good thing." Uh, Wi-Fi is decent, the sunsets are better, and the silence? It's not empty, it's deliberate. But if Caliente feels like a beautiful pause in the noise of life, the next town is something else entirely. A place where silence means surrender, and people are slowly rebuilding a life from the ashes of abandonment. At first glance, Garnet looks like a postcard from the past: weathered cabins, creaky saloons, and pine trees swallowing up old wooden staircases. But what makes this ghost town different is that it's not staying dead. Garnet was born in the 1892nd, fueled by Montana's gold fever. By 1905, most of the gold and the people were gone. By the 1942nd, it was empty, abandoned, just another name on a map collectors loved and real estate agents ignored. But not anymore. Today, Garnet is technically a historic site, managed by the Bureau of Land Management. You can visit, you can walk through it. But just outside the Preserve District, something unexpected is happening. People are quietly moving in. Off-gridders, homesteaders, people with solar panels and composting toilets. They're buying up nearby land, some for under $20,000, and building new lives among the ruins. There are no paved roads. Winters are brutal. Supplies require planning. But the appeal is obvious: no traffic, no noise, no neighbors, unless you want them. Just forest, history, and space to be left alone. One resident, interviewed in an obscure YouTube documentary, said, "It's not about escaping society, it's about remembering what life feels like when it's not scheduled." The town itself remains frozen, its center a tourist attraction, its edges a quiet experiment in modern isolation. On misty mornings, the line between ghost and settler blurs. The fog moves between buildings, and for a moment, you can't tell if you're visiting the past or it's visiting you. Garnet isn't booming, it's breathing. 10 towns, 10 chances to step outside the expected. Some offer freedom, some offer escape, a few come with questions that don't have answers. But all of them challenge one simple idea: that where you live has to be expensive, crowded, or predictable. From burning ground in Pennsylvania to abandoned beauty in Montana, the cheapest towns in America aren't just affordable. They're alive with strange, forgotten stories. And sometimes that's worth more than square footage. So if you've ever thought about starting over, disappearing, or just living differently, maybe the path doesn't lead to a big city or a condo by the beach. Maybe it starts in a place nobody else is talking about. Which town would you choose? Let us know in the comments, and if you want more secrets like these, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're just getting started.